Hi there, this is Sean, the Honest Book Reviewer, with another book review. In this video we're discussing A Flicker in the Dark, written by Stacy Willingham. It's one of the books on the top 12 mystery/thriller novels for the first half of 2022 that GOODREADS has up on its site. Here's the book cover. I thought it was an okay read. It's not brilliant, but it's quite a solid psychological thriller. And I love the fact that the main plot involves the daughter of a convicted serial killer. That really interested me and engaged me and got me into this book, got me hooked. And I found that a very, very clever plot. And I've seen some other things like that in TV or movies or books. So it's not, totally new and unique, but it was written in an okay way. It's quite solid. The characters mainly are okay. There are good thriller elements through this story, some good parts of suspense in the story to really get you hooked. There are a few twists that I think could have been done a bit better, and a few characters that are heavy-handed, but I think overall it's a solid thriller, and I think it shows the author can write quite well, and there's a little bit of room for improvement for the author, but the bare bones of the book and the plot are quite well done. Chloe Davis, her main character, is a psychologist. She pops pills to get through life, and the reason she does that is because 20 years ago, her father was convicted as a serial killer of killing, I think, maybe 5 or 6 girls. Her and her brother, Cooper, they were young at the time. I've got a feeling Cooper was older, 3 years older, and I think at that time Chloe was maybe 7 or 8, maybe a little bit older than that, but they weren't that old. So their father was sent to prison, their mother kind of fell apart, and so they were sent to live with an aunt, I think. So now in the present day, 20 years in the future, Chloe is trying to get her life back together. She's a psychologist. She's still traumatized by the events from 20 years ago, so is her brother. And they support each other through that, throughout the book and throughout the story. And it seems that Cooper injects himself more into Chloe's life than the other way around. That's the impression you get in the story. Chloe's life is about to change, about to be rocked a bit, because a girl goes missing. A teenage girl. And it's a girl that was just in her office as a patient. But that's not the reason, really, that her world's rocked. It's because it just feels similar to the killings that her father was convicted of. They were all teenage girls. So it just feels very close to home for Chloe. And the fact that it was a patient of hers, that feels close to home as well. And of course it would. A little bit later on, that girl is found, her body is found, and found in an alleyway behind the building where Chloe works. So that's very close to home for Chloe as well. And she's asked to go and look at the body because she was the last one to see the girl alive. And the police want her to have a look at the body to see, is there anything missing from the girl's clothing or accessories, anything missing that the killer may have taken to give them a clue about the killer. And there is. And that also reminds Chloe about her father's crimes, because there was a box found in her father's wardrobe that had little trinkets, little things from the girls that he was convicted of killing. So that's another link between the past and the present. And Chloe starts to think, is there a copycat? Is somebody else killing girls and doing it the same way that her father did? Then comes along a journalist, and this journalist wants to talk to Chloe. He's doing a story about the murders 20 years ago, and he wants to get Chloe's views on that, views about her father, about those crimes, and about the recent crimes that are happening, because soon enough, another girl goes missing in a local area. Chloe's reluctant at first to talk to the journalist because she had bad experiences with journalists in the past, but then she agrees to do it. And this journalist, they work together, and they both think there's a copycat going on. And that's the view they take, and that's the path they take as they investigate things. On top of that, in this story, we have Chloe's fiancé, Daniel. They're about to get married. I think it's about a month or so until they're going to get married. Now he's quite mysterious as well, and written in a very clever way. He's a sales rep for a pharmaceutical company, so he's on the road a lot. So straight away, as a reader, you get alarm bells, going off about Daniel. He's a sales rep on the road. Does that give him the opportunity to do bad things? Is he the copycat kidnapping these young girls? Because being on the road gives him a chance to do that and get away with it, in a way. So Chloe starts to investigate her own fiancé, and she finds out things about him that make her question who he is and what he's doing, what his actions are at certain times, because it seems to be that sometimes he's lying about where he's going, about what he's doing. So that's quite interesting in this story, and a very good use of another character, another suspect in this book. And that just adds to the whole suspense and tension in this story, because once again we have a character that's very close to home for Chloe, and she's not sure of him, and that just makes another really strong element in this book. I'll leave the plot there because I don't want to give anything away about this story, because it's a strong story. It's not brilliant, but it's strong, and if you want to read it, you deserve to read it and get those twists and turns and read those things for the first time. You don't want anybody spoiling it for you. But it is a very interesting plot. It's very psychological, and the author did quite a good job of giving us Chloe's state of mind in this story. And Chloe's always not a reliable character, because she does rely on these pills she's taking, and they do affect her judgment, they affect her memory in the way she sees things as well, and how she reacts to things in the present day. That's very interesting in this book as well. It's not the first time that I've seen a thriller, that I've read a thriller this year, where the character's unreliable because of taking medication. So I don't know if a lot of thrillers are including that in their plots. I hope not, because I'd hate to see it overused, but in this case it's used quite well in my opinion. It's not perfect, it's not brilliant, but it's okay, and it's probably above average. There are two things though in this story that didn't make sense to me. The first is, it just seems that nobody was considering the fact that her father didn't commit those crimes 20 years ago. Nobody was considering the fact that it could have been the same person abducting girls in the present day as in the past 20 years ago. That seems strange to me, because wouldn't you think that if a crime seemed to be very closely linked to crimes 20 years ago, and in 20 years ago somebody was convicted of those crimes, and then new crimes happened that were almost matching what happened, or matching 100% what happened in the past, wouldn't one of your thoughts be, okay, it could be a copycat, but it also could be the same person who committed those crimes in the past? Did we convict the right person? And in my opinion, it seems a bit of a plot hole. And I just wonder why that wasn't really explored in the book, and even suggested in the book, because I would think that straight away if that was me investigating these crimes. The second thing is, there's this huge emphasis on Chloe not telling the police things she learns or remembers, and she does that because she doesn't think she'll be believed. And that was very strange to me, because at not one point in this story did anybody tell her they don't believe her. Nobody gives her that impression or says that to her face, so I'm not sure what that was about. I don't know if that's just the author giving us Chloe's feeling of paranoia, and how that's getting stronger and stronger as the book goes on. If that's the case, that's okay, but it seems to be that that was a bit of a miss in my opinion, and it's quite a big miss because it's a big part of the Chloe character and a big reason why she holds things to her chest so much and doesn't give all that evidence to the police to work with. Chloe is quite a good character, very consistent. As I mentioned before, I didn't buy into the whole thing about her not trusting the police. It didn't make sense. But I thought overall you get her emotions very clearly in this story. You get her anxiety, you get her fear, you get her uncertainty about what she's remembering, what she's feeling, and you get her anxiety about people in her life, especially her fiance, all these things come through quite clearly. Sometimes they come through too strong, in my opinion. There's certain scenes where her feelings, her emotions are a bit overdone, a bit over the top, but on the whole, she's a very consistent and very good character, and I think it shows that this author can write above average characters. There's a little few tweaks there to go on to make them perfect characters, but I think Chloe is quite a good character in this story. Daniel, in my opinion, is probably the best written character in this book. He's got so many things going on in his character. I mean, we've got suspicion about what he's doing. Is he lying about certain things? Where's he going on these trips? Is he really going to conferences? Is he really on the road, selling this medication? Or is he on the road doing evil deeds? Is he the culprit? Is he the killer? What secrets is Daniel hiding? And he was written very cleverly in this story. There's just the right level of doubt about him. It's not heavy-handed. It's given to us very carefully and very measured through the book. And he's very consistent. He's very well-rounded. He's a great character in my opinion, and I think he's a standout character in this story. Aaron, who's the journalist that comes to interview Chloe and then help her as she investigates what's going on, he's very well written. There's that right level of suspicion about him and that doubt about him. It's not heavy-handed. Very well measured again. He's not the best character in the story, but I just love the way this character was constructed. I think if this character wasn't constructed so well, the book wouldn't work. We needed this character to be really strong because this character drives so much of the plot forward, and the author did a great job of giving us Aaron. And I think Aaron is a standout character in the book, not so much as Daniel, but almost there. And without Aaron written this well, the book would have suffered. For a debut novel, this is quite a strong thriller. The characters, for the most part, are written very well, and they come through very clearly and are very consistent. There are a few little tweaks that could happen in this book to make it almost perfect, but it's quite strong and quite gripping, and I did like the whole concept of, the daughter of a serial killer being the main focus in the story. That was quite engaging for me and really dragged me into the book. I rated it a 3.5 out of 5. It shows this author can write quite well, and it shows the author with a few tweaks. I think the next books from this author could be even better, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out from this author in the future, because I will want to read them. On my channel, I do review quite a few thrillers. If you don't want to miss out on those videos, check out my channel and subscribe. There's also a thriller playlist on my channel. It should be on your screen now.